Audio speeding, camera rolling. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Watch Jimmy Ball. Shout out to all my shooters and hey, Aurora. Today we are going to talk about 5 pieces of gear or 5 gear upgrades that particularly changed my career. Lately, I've been on this real self-awareness kick. I've been thinking a lot about meditation and self-care, self-love. I think it all is a derivative of me just wanting to further my, human capabilities, we could say. I always like to believe, my goal is to be an ultimate human being, the most in shape, the most healthy, the best cinematographer I can be, the best entrepreneur. In every area of my life, I'm striving for greatness. So lately, it's been more internal than external. But anyway, let's get into this list. Now, although this is an episode about upgrading gear, I want to say this first up front, my little, forewarning. It's not all about upgrading gear. You don't always need new gear, but these are some of the choices that I made throughout my career that really, really helped me go forward. So unfortunately, I actually upgraded my gear in this particular order that I'm finna give it to you in, but I don't suggest this order. I actually think you might want to start from the bottom and go back to the top. So the last tip that I give is really number 1, and the first tip that I give really should be number 5. All right. Anyway, without further ado, let's start the list. And I'm not gonna do numbers, we just gonna say what it is. In my career, one of the first things I upgraded was my camera. I started with a Canon T3i, then I went to a Canon 6D, which was full frame, and man, was it beautiful. Literally, in my mind, I felt like it leveled up my images and it allowed me to get better low light capabilities, so I thought that I was on the right track. The next camera I took from there was a GH4, and GH4 was my introduction to 4K. It also gave me some new things. I actually didn't have log on my GH4, like vlog, so I still hadn't got introduced to real log shooting or color grading at a high level. I was still just kind of playing around, but my GH4 was next. After my GH4, I went on to the Sony FS5. The FS5 was literally the camera that decided my fate. Once I got the FS5, I transitioned into being more of a full-fledged cinematographer. I started taking DP jobs. I was investing in log and learning how to expose images, trying to understand my f-stops, trying to pinpoint exactly which, color temperatures and different things like that I really needed to pay attention to get the kind of images that I was seeing being produced by this camera by other people. And that's literally, that's one of my favorite secrets is no matter what camera I had, I would always go on YouTube and sneak and geek. I would look at other people's stuff. I would type in T3i short film and just look at all of the other people killing it with the camera that I'm telling myself that I need to upgrade. So after my FS5, which once again, that was the camera that got me doing documentaries. That was the camera that really took me into my corporate and commercial world. That camera was definitely the turning point. But after that camera, my next camera was my Red Scarlet W and the current camera that I'm shooting on right now, which is my FX3. And I mean, we're gonna make videos about those, so don't worry about it. So in all of those particular bodies, there was a reason that I upgraded. When I had the T3i and I wanted to go to the Canon 6D, I wanted to achieve full frame. I was really trying to get a 5D Mark III and I didn't have the money. So I settled and got the 6D, but it was an amazing investment. I got better pictures, better image quality. And it wasn't that much of a jump in price. It just was, it required me to sell my T3i and then turn around and get the Canon 6D. And then from the Canon 6D to the GH4, that upgrade, I had a totally different color science. I had to get different lenses and adapters and learn new things. I had to, kind of master this new way of shooting with 4K and all this cool stuff. So it was elevational as well. And then when I went from the GH4 to the FS5, like I said, groundbreaking. And I would encourage anybody, if you are looking to upgrade your camera, don't upgrade a mirrorless camera to another mirrorless camera. And shout out to my boy Magic for telling me that, because he definitely was like, man, you finna go from a GH4 to a A7S Mark II or something like that. He was like, bro, you're buying the same camera over and over and over again. And that's why you're not elevating. This one is funny. So the next thing that I upgraded in my career was my lights. And this was kind of simultaneously, to be honest. When I had my T3i, I had these, excuse me. when I had my T3i, I had these like really shitty Amazon lights. Like everybody had them, the little soft box with the 3 bulbs or 4 bulbs on the inside. And my bulbs kept breaking and there was glass everywhere. It was blood all in my hands. And those things were just shitty. So after that, I upgraded for the first time to a set of Aperture like Amaran panels. And then I also had like the Lightstorm panel, and RIP to my lights, they did get stolen. And I think I'll do a whole story on that on the channel as well. But that was my first like step from Amazon to, you know, panels. And then from those panels, after they got stolen, I actually ended up going back to Aperture again. But this time I went with all Cobb point source COB lights, and man, once again, level up. Like everybody thinks that they should go for buying soft lights and these panels and that cool stuff and RGB and all that. Man, no. Get point source, get powerful, learn how to diffuse, learn how to cut, learn how to shape and really like master hard light, because it is so much more beneficial to have hard light in your kit that you can mold and modify versus having just a soft panel. My opinion, fight me. Whew. The next thing I upgraded by far was the dumbest thing that I waited to upgrade. No, I'm kidding. I think the other two are also pretty dumb. Yeah. I actually was editing all of my music videos on like a 2013 MacBook Pro for the longest time. I wanna say for like the first 5 years of my career, I was editing on a shitty MacBook Pro. At the time, it wasn't shitty. I just want to say that. Like when I first got it, it was a really good MacBook. But eventually it just got old and it got bogged down, and I was trying to make like music on it and do videos, and it just wasn't happening. It was not the best experience. And then I ended up getting like an in-between MacBook that was like maybe a 2015, a little bit newer, but it only had an i5 processor, so it sucked as well with all of the footage that I shot. So that was also another like situation for me. So then I upgraded again, and this is when it actually like clicked for me, and I spent quite a bit of money, and I got my iMac that's sitting next to me. You probably see it in some of the different videos, but that is a 2019 iMac with an i9 processor, 64 gigs of RAM, a 2 terabyte hard drive on the inside, and like 8 gigs of dedicated video memory. Dude, literally changed my career. It was such a relief to be able to edit without, you know, really being afraid that this is gonna crash or lagging and all these different things. Like it edits my red footage smoothly. It is not as good with this new Sony footage from the FX3, but I still need to do some tests to figure out why, because I don't shoot in like the strongest codec on the FX3, the All-I, so maybe that's the reason, and I need to buy one of the better SD cards to figure it out. But yes, upgrading your computer is essential. Do not upgrade your camera or your lighting before you upgrade your computer. What is the point of shooting beautiful images for your client that you can't deliver? All right, cool. So you got your computer, you got your camera, you got your fancy lighting. Now you're almost a bona fide business. Wait, you don't have a CRM. And if you don't know what a CRM is, man, once again, it's one of the 5 pieces of gear, and I don't care if you call it gear or not, this is my channel, that I use to upgrade myself and my career. Getting a CRM, which is a client management software, literally just relieves you from the stress of like dysfunction and unorganization. Like all of your clients, all of your projects are all organized in one software, one system. It doesn't matter which one you use. This actually came about for me when I started working with a marketing company. Shout out to my old team back in South Bend, Indiana. Seeing the way that they flow and kind of manage creative projects allowed me to understand that there was a better way to do the things that I was doing. And I mean, by doing, I mean that I wasn't doing anything. Like I would really just get a project, I would write it in my notes on my phone, and there would be no organization or no really accountability or task list to know where you are with that project or what's going on with it. And to me, as an owner, as a freelancer, as anybody who's doing creative projects, you really want to be able to look at a list of what you need to do for that day at a glance. Like you don't want it to be this like overarching thing where you don't know what's going on in your own business. So get a CRM. Okay. And not to end the video on no cliche BS, the thing that really changed my career gear-wise that I upgraded was my mind. changing my mindset and like deciding that, okay, I'm gonna really take this serious. I'm gonna take myself serious, and I'm gonna push, and I'm going to be professional and push myself to be professional in all of these different settings and all of these different ways. How am I gonna be the most creative that I can be? How can I give my clients the best effort? How can I put together the best pieces of work that I can possibly do? How do I upgrade my lighting? How do I upgrade my camera without actually physically buying gear? It's in my mind. I have to start to understand lighting better. I have to start to understand my camera better. I have to start to understand my skill sets as a whole better, because after a while you go from just being a videographer, somebody with a camera and some lights, to being a producer, to being a project manager, to being a liaison, a counselor. Because I ain't gonna lie, some of my clients, man, we be talking. Yeah, it be deep. So for me, upgrading my mindset really changed everything. And I mean, I upgraded my mindset in Indiana after working with my marketing company friends, and I really appreciate them for that, because I definitely think that they were a part of that shift. And once I changed my mindset, I was able to make a lot more money, and I was able to be a lot more happier in my career doing the things that I was happy doing. Because I feel like my mindset shift started to attract, and the things that I started to do started to attract the type of work that I wanted for myself, the things that I wanted to do. So I would say to any young videographers out there, before going to go upgrade your camera, before getting new lights, before getting a CRM software, really think about what you want at the end of all of this, and kind of determine some kind of goal. And even if it is short term, because I can't say that I even know what I fully want at the end of everything, except to be the best video production company in Atlanta. But you know what I'm saying? I think it's important that you try to come up with even micro goals, small goals that says, okay, well, right now I'm focusing on my cinematography, so I'm gonna put my efforts into that, and I'm gonna shift my mind towards that particular subject. Or if that's you gonna be a producer, or you wanna start a production company, you know, just start to really take your mind down that path. And another thing that I've been doing, you know, to work on the inward me is when I'm meditating, I'll try to envision me doing the things that I said I want to do. So if I want to be a speaker on stage, I envision myself on stage being a speaker. If I want to, you know, wake up, because I did wake up really early today to do this YouTube video. If I want to wake up early, set up these lights, set up this camera, and do all this stuff, I got to envision myself doing that, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I get lazy. Sometimes I just get out of it. I get unmotivated. And only way to be, you know, a lack of motivation is a sense of discipline and mindset. So really just go hard on making sure you ingest and talk to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Tell yourself what you need. Like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? We trying to build this empire. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? So keep it real. For me, a big part of that was going from freelancer to company, and deciding that I wanted a production company more than I wanted to actually just be a freelance DP. I wanted to be in control of the projects, and I also wanted to be more hands-on with the creative narrative of the projects. Like, another part, you know, another small micro part of what my end goal is after all this is to create my own content, is to shoot my own movies and TV shows. So for me, it was imperative that I felt like I was more involved in my projects than just showing up and shooting. All right, man. All right. That's enough, because y'all trying to get too much up out of me right now, and it's too early. I'm tired. Hold on, wait, look at this. Isn't this cool? I got this as a housewarming gift. I don't know if you know, but you can hide your party supplies in here. Anyway, appreciate y'all for coming to the channel, man. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. I'm really enjoying doing these videos now. At one point they became a chore, and I'm not gonna lie, man, that was my fault, but I'm back, I'm happy. And I can't wait to just share more information with my people in my community. I really see that you guys are receptive and love this type of content, and I love doing it, man. Most of the people that know me, we actually sit and have these conversations without a camera, and so why not have them with the camera on, man? Turn the camera on, y'all. Peace.